Well, uh, anybody who hasn't heard it, it is on Watchers 10. I was interviewed by L.A. Marzulli, and a group went out the day before, and they didn't hit a rally point. They didn't hit a checkpoint. Didn't give information back to command. And stuff happens. Radios go down, whatever. Well, they sent birds out looking for them, nothing. So they sent a second team. I happened to be on that second team. And what we did is we followed their exact route. Because as you know, when you're going somewhere, you always leave something with Battalion HQ or whatever to let people know where you're going to be. And you mark your rally points, checkpoints off in specific times when you're going to do it. The cave was offset, so it wasn't directly in front of us, even though it sort of made an L, this part of the mountainside. It was a sheer drop there. And instead of it facing directly towards us or directly to the left of us as we're coming around that turn, it was like diagonal to us, right there. If you imagine the corner of the L, that would be where it would be. And then there was a sheer drop off behind us. There was rocks, it is in Afghanistan. There was an oddity though, is we saw these bones. And then I saw a piece of our equipment. As I get into it, you'll understand what I mean. Anyways, all of a sudden, with the quickness due to speed, you would not believe this thing jumped out. And I'm not joking when I say, I know this to be a fact too. He was 15 feet tall. Yeah, we're super shocked. And my one bro, who's a SEAL, we called him Dan the Man. It's the only person's name I use because the rest of them are still alive. If they want to come out with a story, they'll do it when they want to. He broke first. Everybody will pause on certain things, and that was something that we all paused on. But he broke first, and he even went at him, and we all started to move too. But this thing was so quick, it had skewered Dan on a pike, and everybody starts yelling, shoot him in the face, shoot him in the face. And we all open up. This story has taken longer than it actually took. It was probably 30 seconds total time, and that's a long time. So we start hitting him, and he finally goes down. When he does, basically what I believe happened, we all know about David and Goliath. Just like after David killed Goliath, he severed the head with his sword, right? And
Yes.
from our shooting, we basically took everything from his lower jaw, the artwork they had done. The guy got several things wrong with the artwork, but, they cost them a lot of money and they weren't going to redo it. But we basically blew a big gaping hole through his head with our rounds. And where we hit the body, we noticed that the team from the night before must have hit the body too, because it was already starting to heal just from our engagement. This is after he's down. We've already tried to stabilize him, and he passed. And so the 9-9 just became a pickup. The basic gist of it is, I believe that we severed where the brain and the spinal cord meet. He said, did he have double rows of teeth? I said, look, I'd be lying to you if I told you for sure he had double rows, because our bullets had impacted so much. There were teeth going inward and outward, and I don't know if it was the bullets or that was just the way his teeth were made. This is all stuff that I'm just trying to fill you in on the minutia that didn't get put into the film. It did look like the boys from the night before or the day before had engaged him because his wounds were already healing. The facts were from the night before, the day before, you could tell where he'd been hit. That's where they messed up on the artwork, and it wasn't their fault. It was the guy who did the artwork. All he had was like a loincloth on him. And he did have one odd thing that still blows me away to this day. He had a shield, like a Roman squared rectangular shield. And both of the things he had were made out of brass. He smelled as persistent as a skunk, but like, I don't know how many of you guys have been in combat or been to a mass grave's opening, but the smell of decaying flesh, I guess, is the best way to describe his stench. Red hair, so red it was like fire red, brother. I'm looking at it now in my mind. Sorry. He had 6 fingers, 6 toes. He was barefooted. Anyways, so we go into the cave. We saw different things, but you know, was it something he was smelling brass in? I don't know. Was it his cook pot? I don't know. But we did find fresh bones, and that was from the team the night before, and that didn't make it. He did have clothes, like I guess you would call it a tunic, and he did have like these weird shoes that were like, must have been sheep's skin. When I say that, I mean literally ripped off of the sheet, and then he just tied them up by poking holes through the actual skin and just tying them up that way. They were real funky looking, almost, I don't know how to explain it. They you could tell they were handmade. Anyway, so we go in there and we're looking around. We see some of his stuff. By then, the helicopter had come, and we flew back to the air base in Afghanistan. We were there when they brought him down, and they had these special forklifts that moved those flat pieces of aluminum that you put cargo on, and they brought that out to where there was an aircraft. They had already loaded him, started loading him down, and then dropped him, taking him out towards the aircraft. We landed. We went over there.